Hi, my name's Erik Finn, and I can relate to some of Scott's story there. Because about 7 years ago, I was looking at an envelope and I got like a paper cut. I'm with you, dude. But as far as my story on something which is whack, about 80 pounds ago, and if you gain 3 to 5 pounds a year after high school, you can do the math. But anyway, about 80 pounds ago, I was a lifeguard. And I had been a lifeguard for, at that point in time, about 4 years. And in all the time that I was a lifeguard, with the various lives that I may have saved, no one ever thanked me. Except for one. And this is what's whack. On this day, the dumbest dog that God ever breathed life into saunters onto the beach. He had no tags, no owners, no collar, and no clue. And he starts following ducks. Not actually chasing them, but just following ducks around. Just kind of like, I want to hang with you guys. And the ducks are a little annoyed, perhaps bothered by the dog, and they keep walking away from him. And at one point in time, they get themselves into the water and they start paddling out. And the dog's a little frustrated, like, I still want to hang with you guys. So he walks into the water, and he gets out to a point where he has to actually start paddling. And the ducks are paddling out. And the dog keeps going after them. And the ducks are out at, I don't know, maybe 5 more minutes into the actual story, maybe 100 yards. And at this point, the ducks are probably annoyed enough with the dog that they're like, and they just like, let's get the flock out of here, and they actually fly away. And the dog, you can see from here, is like, I can't fly. So, rather disheartened, turns around and starts getting back to the shore, and then comes to the flabbergasted realization, I can't swim either. And just like you would see a person in an older movie where they're going under, the dog is doing just that. And I'm like, oh no, the dog is actually drowning. So it's Dave, Dave to the rescue. And I go out there and I'm swimming and I'm doing my modified crawl so I can keep my eye on the dog, and he goes under. And I think he's gone, but he comes back up again. It's like, great. So he's desperately gasping for air in between his going unders. By the time I get out there, he's now under. I have to go into the water and search for him, because the water's a little murky. You can't really see him. And I feel him, and I grab him by the scruff of his neck, and I pull him up. And I get him up on my hip, and I do sort of a modified side stroke that we learn as lifeguards and stuff. And I'm swimming, and I get him to the shore, and he's not breathing. And if any of you ever had CPR, you know about squeezing the nose and blowing the chin forward on a person. This is a dog. So I can't. So what I'm doing is I'm down here with the dog, and I'm trying to figure. So I just like open up and figure maybe I can blow air into the thing's throat. And I'm looking at this fang-laden, toothy, shaky maw, and just like, oh god, oh, and the air is flatulating around my face because the lips are just undulating as I'm blowing it, and nothing's getting in. And I'm like, shit. So what I'm thinking, all right, oh, like babies. Babies, you're supposed to blow on their nose. So I take the dog's mouth and I sort of fold the lips around as best as I can, and I just imagine trying to blow meat out of a submarine sandwich, right? And I did say blowing meat in the same sentence, but nothing was, you know. Anyway, so I do that like 3 times, and then the dog sort of rolls over, he coughs, and this milky white substance sort of comes out of him, and I'm like, yeah. And I'm panting like a dog, and he's panting like a dog. And he gets up, And he licks me on my hand. And then he goes on his way. And I came to realize at that point in time, what's whack is that he's the only one that ever thanked me. And I think thanking is important. So I'd like to thank you for listening to this story.